I want to show you how to use Excel to generate a table and a graph that you can put into Word. I'm using Excel 2016 and Word 2016. As the example data, I'm going to use table 1.7 from AC Electrical Circuits. It's the capacitor discharge. These are the results I got for the discharge, and this is table 1.7. So I need to create two columns. So I click on B2, and this column is going to be labeled time. The second column is going to be labeled voltage. I need to put my seconds in here, so it starts at 0 seconds and works its way up to 130 seconds. So in the second row, I'm going to put a formula. So I'm going to press equal, use the up arrow key to reference the cell above it, and say plus 10. And then press enter. So it's added 10 to the number above it. Now I'm going to click on the 10, which has a formula in it. I'm going to right click and copy. Then I'm going to click on the cell below it, hold the mouse button down, and drag it down the screen and let go. Come back up, right click, and paste. So now it's pasted those formulas into all the cells below it, each time adding 10 to the number from above it. I need 0 to 130, so these last few cells, I'm going to highlight them. To highlight them, I press down on the left mouse button, hold it, drag the rectangle all the way down, and then press the delete key. The voltages need to be entered manually. So the first one is 9.9, and then I'm going to press the down arrow key to go down to the next cell, put in 6.7, down 4.7, down 3.3, down 2.3, down 1.6, down 1.2, down 0.8, down 0.6, down 0.4, down. The next one is 300 millivolts. So instead of typing in 300 milli, I'm going to type in 0.3, down 0.22, down 0.16, down 0.12. So that's my data entered into the table. Now I'd like to have borders on my table, so I'm going to left click on time and then drag my cursor over and down. Then I'm going to go up to this little box here and select all borders. So now I have a table. I can select time and all the time elements and center them. I can now do the same with voltage. Just left click on voltage, hold the button down, drag it all the way down, and then click on center. So now I have time and voltage centered. Now I also want to do a graph. So to do a graph, I need to select my cells. So left click on time, hold the mouse button down, and select both columns all the way down. Then I go up to what they call the insert ribbon. I click on the insert ribbon, and it brings up all the charts. What I want to insert is a scatter chart. So this is the symbol for the scatter chart. Now there's a little down arrow right beside the chart. If you click on that, it brings up all the different scatter charts. and gives you a preview. So we want the second one that smooths the lines. So click on that. So now we have a chart. If I click on it, hold the mouse button down, I can move it. So I can put it in a nice position. Now the next thing that I want to do is go over to Quick Layouts. And I want to select the first layout, layout number 1. And that gives me an axis title and a main title that I can fill in. So clicking on the main title, I can highlight it and type in capacitor discharge voltage. Press enter and it gives you another line. You can continue typing. Use the back arrow key to get rid of the extra line. You can highlight the text, go to Home, and we can make it bold, and we can change the size to 16. Now on the bottom axis, I can select it, and I can decide to put something else in there. So along the bottom axis is going to be time, and it's in seconds. So I can select it, make it bold, make it one font size larger. Now the side axis title is a little bit more tricky because it's on an angle. It's pointing upwards. But if you click on it and select it, it's a little bit tricky selecting it sideways. But on this side it's voltage in volts. So I'm just going to label it volts. I also want to highlight it, and it's a little bit tricky highlighting all of it because it's on an angle. I can make it bold and one font size larger. Now this is the key on the side here. Because I know it's already the voltage discharge line, I don't need it to say voltage in the key, so I can just hit the delete key and get rid of it. Now it fills out my chart for me. So I want to copy this into Word. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on one of these cells and highlight them. So those are the cells I want to copy. They've been highlighted. So now if I do a right click, I can do a copy. Now over here in Word, I'm going to put a couple of enters in. All that does is put blank lines in, so I can put my chart somewhere on the page and still have room above it to put a title. So I can highlight that and center it, and I can increase the font size. I can make it bold. I can underline it. Now down here, I want to insert the table, so I've already copied it to my clipboard, so I should be able to do a right click, paste, or you can use the buttons. Control C is copy, Control V is paste. You can see it's pasted both my table and my graph into Word. And then underneath, I can continue typing. So if I want to type some conclusions in, I'm now ready to type those in. I hope this helps you with your lab report.